XRP has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. Every single time I take a look at the price, it has yet again moved exactly as we want it to do. Just right now again, we have been talking about where the best area to buy XRP would be at, with again 3 zones being provided just around the $3 mark, between $2.60 and $2.70, and between $2, I'm going to say $2.03 or so, and $1.90. And just now, last night, we got ourselves a retest of this beautiful support for XRP between 260 and 270. Matter of fact, it went to about 265 a coin. Hopefully a couple of you guys get in, because right now we are up 20% or so from that bottom. But even more importantly, and this is crucial, just last night, a lot of people were asking me, should we be buying right now at $2.92? Something like that was the price when we started streaming, and later on throughout the night as well. And my statement was, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking at the price right here, you're getting yourself a steep discount from what the price was at yesterday, and everything is going down for really no good reason. Even though there is a chance of another chopping session, you know, Bitcoin is going to showcase for that, and most likely all the tech stocks will show for that as well. But in reality, it just seems like a bit of a squeeze. And that chop, again, is still viable, but buying XRP below $3 is almost always the right play. And it seems to be, again, that right there when we stated, well, again, what a thought process would be right now is to just buy in and average yourself down, and again, make sure you're not going to get liquidated if the price goes to like $2.60 or something along those lines. Regardless, though, we established yesterday as well that the 305 level is the most important one to watch, and the moment that we break, we're most likely just back to good old, because again, we established before that that was the most important support for XRP. Funnily enough, it is $3.05 on a longer term trend rather than $3, and just now, we first of all bounced off of it, then broke through but did not get confirmation, and the time that we did break through, it again, as of this point, has continued on with a pretty good surge. I mean, on the short term, there's nothing really too spectacular to talk about here, because just as Bitcoin is going up, our altcoins are also coming back up. And this was the charts last night. Let's quickly wait for it to refresh a little bit, with many coins like Solana down some tremendous numbers. But I believe right now, look at that. Yep, we're back in the good old with our coin, our favorite one. Woo, woo, woo. XRP being up one of the most out of the top, the top bunch at least. Let's quickly wait for this to refresh. I'm not so sure if these are already refreshed. I guess not, right? Can't be. Yeah, so H bar is to refresh, but I think out of the top here, XRP, regardless, is still one of the best performers. For some reason, CoinMarketCap sometimes has some issues. There we go. And now out of the entire top, there's a few ones that have done better, such as Hyperliquid, KuCoin's coin, even though they had a lawsuit going on, Jupiter, and funnily enough, XDC, which also is one of my bigger holdings. So I'm loving to see it. And it brings back the story of, ladies and gentlemen, I just really go hard on these dips. I do not care. The only problem was this time around, it was again at an unfortunate time, time zone wise, but that doesn't matter. Whenever XRP dips below $3, as we have established so long, we go crazy. Because again, like I described last night, and I saw the comments, many people liked my thoughts on this. I'll explain it again for some of the people that did not see. It's a matter of how much lower can we go for XRP? Do we think the price will ever go back to $1? Well, I don't really think so. Do I think it could go back to $1.50? I don't really think so. Do I think it could go back to $1.80? Maybe, right? That's where I'm basically putting my bottom at, which from this point on forward would be about a 50% decrease. I mean, 50% will put us right now at $1.60, let's say, which I'm going to say is the worst case scenario in my book, right? So if I personally think that the absolute worst case is to go down 50%, that's my absolute worst that I can think of. As long as I've got a strategy in place to either, again, depending on how you're trading it. But by the way, if you also want to trade crypto, a link is down below to Bluefin. You can use it from probably anywhere in the world. You might need to use a VPN, but you can probably do it. Or WeX is another platform I use a lot. It just depends on what preference you've got. They both have a different interface a little bit, but they work essentially the same. But if my thoughts are that it could go maximum down, let's say 50%, there's 2 types of trading here that I have to explain. One is spot buying, or low leverage, very low leverage. This way, what you can basically do is buy in anywhere. For example, last night, $2.93. If the price comes down, every single, for example, 10-cent block, 15-cent block, 20-cent block, or every major barrier, you make sure you add more to your position. As we've described with this little overview here, if you average your price down for XRP with significantly more money the more lower it goes, you usually are quite fine. And why do I say that? Well, because let's say my average, this is an example, right? Let's say my average trading size is $1 million after leverage every single time. But now the price goes so low that I'm thinking, well, if I was comfortable to buy it every single time at these higher levels, now that it's down significantly, theoretically speaking, I should have way more confidence and I should size up. Now, a lot of people tend to size up by 1.5x, 2x. And I personally think if you size up significantly, and on this Blofin account, I'll quickly show you here. What I established before, what our strategy was we have about $200,000 worth of XRP here bought. Or sorry, $220,000 position. I said before, if we go to 260 to 270, I'll add $1 million to that position here. The problem is we didn't do it because I was not here and I wanted to do it on a stream. But I put another batch of money in. I put another 250K in to the account. And if I need more, I'll put more money in to make sure we can add a couple more $1 million to this position in case the price goes down lower. And remember, guys, if we added a $1 million, because I established, if we go back to 260, 270, I think I said I'll add $1 million. And if we go to $2 or so, I think what is it, 2.5 million or something like that. Again, that is relatively to our size right now, sizing up significantly. And again, if I just keep putting more money into my account, it's kind of funny the way I say it. But if I just keep doing it, and I do not see the XP price ever going below, like for example, $1.60, I don't see it go below in like $1.90 ever again. But let's say that it goes all the way back there. As long as I do not get completely wrecked at that level, I'll still be able to flip it with most likely a couple $100,000 profit or so. It might take a few weeks, sure. But even right now with a 30K profit, this is nothing, right? And I established before, the goal is either take this one to crazy heights. I got to put my sock back on. I just took it off by accident, right? Either we got to take it to crazy heights of just the price right now going absolutely nuts, or we need a couple of more dips to stack up ridiculously. And again, unfortunately, I fumbled the bag. You otherwise would have seen at least, let's quickly think about it, right? So if we add another $1 million, it would be up roughly 70%, right? You would have seen another $170,000 profit on this trade right now. And again, people might ask, so why aren't you adding right now? Well, the thing is, because we have ourselves an average price of $2.70, if you remember from a while back, our average price was 65 cents or something. I already kept adding at higher and higher prices. And I think for the channel here, it is better if we get ourselves proper entries instead of just keep adding more. Because even though 315 I think is quite low, I think a lot more people prefer if we try to time for good entries, so it looks better and there's a smaller chance of losing. Meaning, I personally think I'll be able to flip, even buying right now like crazy at $3.15 for a significant amount of profit in a few weeks. I do believe so. Even if I start buying right now, I'll layer my buys down to make sure I get a very good return in a few week time span. Sometimes even a few days only, like we saw last night, right? It only took basically a few hours, but it might look back to some people. I've had, for example, on Bybit, right here, I have multiple trades, but you're only seeing the XP one right now. But there's been at least $100,000 worth of a loss on some of these trades, and people do not like to see it. Right now, this one is in total $60-something thousand worth of profit or so. But before, it was ridiculous, the amount of losses that we were in. And I realized many people think you're an imbecile when it looks like a big loss. Even though I keep explaining the story of, no, the goal is just get bigger and bigger positions at lower and lower prices. It doesn't matter if for a while we're over our heads, if it looks red for a bit, because we know we'll be able to flip it. And that is, again, the thesis in bull markets, that you basically go with the momentum. If coins do well, you expect them to do better. Now, I said before, there's two strategies. Strategy number 2 is higher leverage, bigger trades. Where this becomes slightly more difficult but way more profitable is, let's just establish we buy XRP at $3.10 with a liquidation price at $2.97, right? So basically just below $3 because we do not want it to be just above $3. If it's, if it's just below $3, let's say $2.97, already a little bit risky, but looking at the recent history here, it doesn't really dabble below $3 too often. At least in the last couple of weeks, you can see there was only basically one move below. So it would have been a pretty good one, because let's just say throughout this entire couple week time span, you could have taken the trade at $3, or I guess let's call it $3.05, multiple times, 1, 2, here we would have got it wrecked, so one time not. So let's just say the right way, 1, 2, 3, maybe. Right? Maybe, I'm not sure how much you would have taken there. It's about 10 cents up only, but let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, right? Depending. Let's just say 6, and here again, he would have gotten wrecked. So you would have been correct, let's say 6 times, you would have been wrong 2 times. But again, if every single time you were wrong, the price only went down a few cents, you lost some, sure. But every single time the price was right, the price went up, at least 10 cents here, maybe 12 or so cents in the process. You can see how in this case, you should just accept the losses as long as you just keep bidding. Or another one is, let's just say your liquidation was 297. There's a theory of, okay, you get back into a trade. And at 297, if your liquidation is now, for example, 273, again, the moment you get wrecked, you get back into a trade. Now, this is kind of risky. I understand. Some people will look at this and say, oh, that's like revenge trading of sorts. But my thesis here again stands that the price can only go down so much because XRP, to a certain extent, has not really had its history in the recent history of going down tremendously. It's not like WIF, for example, where the price right now is down 75% from its recent high. The price has been dabbling a bit, sure, but the worst it's done is go down 30% or so in this time span. And if this is the time where we really go into the freaking bear market or so, yeah, you've been wrong. But basically, the strategies work as long as the bull market is not over. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to always let yourself decide for what you're going to do in terms of trading. I'm just saying, in this case, let's just say we had ourselves the revenge strategy, right? We would have gotten in $3.05. We lost because the price went to 297 right there. We'd have lost. Bam. That's one loss. Then we got back in right there. We tried to buy it again. So we got back in at that level. We again, because the price went down to 275, we lost. We got back in right there, right, at that level. We did not lose because this was still tight enough. And now from that 275 level, right, so from right there, where we got liquidated because we got wrecked once and twice. Now, on the way up, we got ourselves that 16% profit, which hopefully, because of the significant amount of leverage that we used, makes up for the losses from before. And again, if your stop loss is really, really tight, like you're using, for example, a 100x, you can't do that on Blowfin, just saying, then at that point, this might be too many steps for it to be easily viable mentally. But even then, if you keep getting wrecked once, twice, 3, 4, 5, let's just say it took 5 steps, right? The price went down from the level which you bought it initially. It went down roughly 12 or 13%, but from that point up, it's up right now 20 and a little bit percent. Now, I know that the upside always should be more than the downside, because if you have $100,000 and it goes down 50%, you need 100% gains to make it back. I get that. But theoretically speaking, losing out on a position at a higher price is worth less than getting into a good position at an extremely low price. Because if right now you get yourself an average price, for example, because you kept getting wrecked a few times, of 265 in XRP, I think that was worth more than whatever you had before, because you might be able to flip this for so much more over a little bit of time span. Then again, it's also worth just selling it again to basically make up for the previous moves. But that again becomes a question of how many times do you have to buy in before that bounce comes back up? Because I keep reminding people, all these things I just described to you depend on you as a person. It depends what's profitable, what's the easiest way to go about it. All depends on you as a person. All I'm saying is, I personally do not see that much downside for XRP, but I see extremely much upside, especially now that just last night again, or a few hours ago, we broke $3.05. We just keep moving. We keep doing it. The amount of hype is so insane. While the real people that do not know anything about crypto, about XRP, they're not really in right now, right? Trump brought a whole new wave, sure. But recently here, it's not been that hyped up along the lines of that. You can see everybody talking about these crazy predictions left, right. Recently here has been quite calm, which I like, because that means if we establish higher prices, there's not as much selling pressure. When we go down, there's not as much panic. Just now, the price cascaded down a little bit, right? Went from $3 something to $2.70. But again, that was one of our buy zones, which was nice. But also, you can see that the price actually then didn't really go down that much. There was panic as if we went down 90% or so. But mostly in other cryptos. In the XP community, for the most part, people were not really panicky, and that is such an important part. Regardless, though, right now as it stands, if you also want to check out Blowfin, there's right now a $100,000 bonus structure going on, as you can see right here, which basically means the more you trade, the also more you get in free rewards or bonuses to trade with. Now, again, the requirements to get yourself a free 100K are quite high, but it's always a matter of, hey, if you're going to trade anyway, you can maybe get yourself a free bonus. And that's what a lot of people do. They switch to different platforms just to get some free rewards. And I always try to get everybody the best rewards. Just now we gave away 2 iPhones. I thought before that I still had the access to give them away, but they've actually been given away. 2 iPhones and 2 AirPods Pro Max have been given away the 24th. So 4 people have seen a little increase in their balance. 1,500, 1,500, 250, 250. If you want the numbers, I can see. But you can just look in your account and see if you want it. And if you guys want something else, you want a different competition of sorts, they told me they're doing another massive team competition in a few days. And I'm going to try. Last time we won how much? Maybe 10 or so, maybe 15,000. I don't remember exactly. We won a pretty good amount. I'm going to try always compete in these team competitions, because the last time our team did so well, And a lot of people can win that way, just some free money. Maybe it's only a couple $1,000s or so per person who is in the top, but still it could be a nice little addition if you're trading already anyway. And also I'm going to be sending a little bonus to some of the best traders today or tomorrow. I just asked them, hey, send me a list of some of the warriors, you know, and give them something. But yeah, so some people are going to be seeing themselves a little gift. Just see your account history if you want to. But anyway, link to below fin is down below, or WEX, whichever one you prefer. And again, just because these are my strategies and they work for me doesn't mean they work for you. This is not finished advice. These are just my thoughts, but it seems to always work out thus far. We've been extremely accurate on XRP, and even I'm kind of surprised. Mostly because of what we fumbled just now by not being awake. Partially with the Trump coin and partially with this XRP trade right now. And again, if you're wondering the reason I do not set limit orders in that sort, or why I'm not really a big fan of that, is because it depends on the market, right? You can often set orders and just be fine. And in this case here, I could have probably set a few orders, but I kind of did not expect the price to cascade so much over a night, because the moment I went to bed, it was still at $3.13. And I expected, yeah, maybe we'll go down a bit. But at that point, I could still enter in, I could still size in. But actually throughout that time, because it was a bit of a movie night, it went down so much that I missed the boat. But that's sometimes happens. Then again, at this point, if we open the stream in the middle of the night, it would have looked like our trade was at a loss. But as you can see right now, we're back in 30K profit in just about a day or so. Even though before, this was actually at, I'm going to say about a 5K loss, $4,000 or $5,000 loss. Right now it's plus 30K again. Again, we do not know where the price is heading tomorrow. $3.14 is way riskier to get into at, you know, 265 or something. But with the strategy I just described, usually it is quite fine. With again, the most important support to watch out for being $3.05-ish. Basically established in this theory before, that this is the most important level for XP to break and stay above. It's about $3.567, with again the highest point being around the 330 mark. So if you're looking for a point to sell at, even though I do believe we're going way higher, it is always wise to at least cash out something near all-time highs or at all-time highs, as before we established the flip route between about $3, in this case $3.05, and $3.30 to $3.40. And right now, I guess that still stands. For the most part, again, some people will sell at $3.15 or so, just to catch back up to perhaps a more average size, what they're used to. But some people will most likely try to take it all the way to 330. But right now, as it's chopping season in the main markets, be a bit more careful than you usually are. But then again, I think with Trump and everything coming in right now, people who are bearish, I don't know, man. I don't know why you do that, but yeah, that's about it.